Hello, hello. Welcome back to Real Talk. We have missed you and we are back and we are just excited to have you with us. And if you joined us a couple, well, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were in some great conversations. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on intro, but we had some great conversations dealing with how, does fashion impact and make the woman? Does fashion impact the woman? And we're going to get more into it. But first, just let you know, this is Real Talk, where it's safe conversations, real conversations about things that are important in the community for women and what we're looking at, the things that we are impacted by, and being able to feel safe, that we can be able to have real conversations, to be able to look at different perspectives, to come into some sort of solutions, because we come up with solutions on here too. So just understand that, this is the think tank. Just send it to us and we'll think it through and talk it through, right? And I am Dr. Kim Brown Barber, better known as Dr. Kim. And I'm with Journey to Becoming. And I am always about trying to help people to be their very best and get to that becoming, because we're always becoming something, right? Always becoming in our destiny. And now to my co-host, Rochelle, Queen of Feeling Fabulous.
Hello. Wow. Okay, it's going to be subdued tonight. But that ain't ever really a reality. Hi, I'm Valerie Austin, the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, owner and founder of Blissful Living for You and All Day Cable Incorporated. And I'm excited to be here because I love talking about things that affect us women. And Dr. Kim knows that I'm all about empowering and uplifting women around the world so we can step into our greatness together. So that's me.
I love it. Well, we're going to really go ahead and get into it with introductions from our panelists. And and that's what I love. We're going to be consistent. These were the panelists that were with us last time so that we can be able to re-engage where we left off. Okay, so let's have you start, Dr. Norma, with introducing yourself, and then Dr. Kathy.
Oh, yes. Good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are listening. Dr. Norma Romero, like Dr. Kim, also known as Dr. Norma by my kiddos, coming to you from Los Angeles in my office at Loyola Marymount University, where I'm a proud educator. And my focus has always been the experience and journeys of traditionally marginalized students, first generation, low income kiddos like the one that I was myself. So that's who I am.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Dr. Kathy Draper Rodriguez. I also go by Dr. Kathy with my students. I am faculty and I teach the school psychology program, and I am the department chair right now. So, I'm just really happy making future educators that can help and meet all the needs of our students in schools, hopefully. Knock on wood.
All right. Welcome back.
We keep it real. Can I just say, because I'm just always going to jump in. Here we have.
This is how it was last time, Rochelle.
Yeah. Oh my God. we have three. We have four. I'm just going to say beautiful, powerful women of color. We got three who are doctors. Do you think there would ever be a situation where we would have four men who would be referred to as Dr. First Name? Just saying.
No.
That's an interesting question.
I never thought about that.
Norma,
my topic.
I know, but I just thought about that. I know. Sorry.
Wait. Throw something else on this, okay? Would we have three minority doctors and a minority top 50 woman-owned business in Silicon Valley gathered here conversating today if they were men?
I do need to be clear though. Rodriguez is my married name.
That's okay. You already claimed, honey.
When they think of Kathy Draper Rodriguez, they gonna think you're Latina no matter what.
There it is. Mic drop already. You guys know how we did it.
Okay,
Mic drop already. Okay, y'all be good. Y'all know we only have 26 minutes.
I know.
Sorry. That.
Not even anymore.
So look at me. I'm the worst one and know better. Okay, sorry.
Exactly. You the co-host. You're supposed to keep it on track. All right. So, all right, guys. Now, we got into some deep conversations about fashion and what it means and the impact of women and how all of this, and we started getting into society and dictating. I mean, we started getting into some deep stuff. So I'm kind of starting off from there because we kind of answered some of the other questions. So how is your style impacting the work environment? So, and don't just think educationally, think business wise, health wise, just all sorts of, as a female, how is your style impacting your work environment, or is it? I mean, what kind of cues do you see that is showing that it's impacting it or that it's not impacting it, that it makes a difference? All right. So let's start out with, because we're gonna start out with you, Dr. Norma, because I already see I see the wheels and the juices turning.
Look, again, and I see put a timer.
Rochelle, you see the wheels and juices turning. I see it.
So lots of things. I am on a most campuses, unless it's an HBU or an HSI, are predominantly white institutions, right? We sort of had this conversation the last time.
We did.
So I don't, I'm wearing a dress, and so that's kind of part of what I always do. But what I find is also when I have young women on my team, there's also that attempt to kind of model for them, not in, like that way, but, mentor them about how they can be perceived differently if they're a little bit more dressed up, and I don't want to fall into that, like, you have to look a certain way, because that is a double standard often, right?
We talked about that last time too, about the double standard.
So I try to do that. I also, with the parents, and I think we talked about this, when I am with the parents of my students, I dress up a little bit more, but for me, it's kind of a double-edged sword because I work with limited income families. And so I don't want to be flashy. I kind of never am, but I also want to be respectful. So I want to signal to them that if I've taken a little extra time to blow dry my hair, it is because I am respecting you, that you came here and you deserve my best.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think that impacts how I engage with families, and how I engage with students, and that I hope for my young students that they see that you can have a title, you can be approachable, you can be, so many things. This is a big question.
Yeah, it is, and I knew it would be layers. Dr. Kathy, what do you have to say?
So I have a lot of different thoughts as well, but I think to kind of go a little bit different direction, I think that we notice as women when we are expecting something that we're treated differently based on how we're dressed. So if you go into a store about how you're going to, do people offer to help you? If you're going to buy a car, what do you look like? Those kinds of things. That comes to mind. I also think that
you said going to buy a car, dressing a certain way as a female. Listen to that. That's, girl, we could unpack that like for days. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to switch the topic. So I was just going to say that, what Dr. Norma was saying about our clothes also being a barrier. We talked about that a little bit last time, that I used to kind of never, ever teach in jeans until someone told me that I might be more relatable to students if I didn't kind of use clothing as a barrier. Like, I'm in a suit, I'm the professor, I do these things. So making sure that it's both things, right? Because my students are going to go and be professionals, so they can't necessarily go off and wear jeans. So I think we just need to have the conversation, like tell our students why we're doing what we're doing, telling them why, it's a summer class, I'm going to come in jeans. But even if I'm in a suit, I want you to come and talk with me. But when you go into your placements, when you go into your field experiences and to your internship, this is what your district is going to expect you to wear and why. I'm just becoming more and more cognizant of, we assume our students know things, or I assume my students kind of had similar experiences that I did, and that I can't make these assumptions. I have to unpack it for them. And if I have an expectation of them, then I need to tell them that expectation and why it's an expectation. And dress is a big part of that for training professionals.
Yeah. And so that's interesting because, you know, from a institution of, you know, higher ed and how the training is and what they're preparing them for and success and different other things. That's interesting. You say all those pieces that's a part of the unpacking and the teaching. But at the same time, we also discuss how it also is a caste system too, because you know, people from other incomes may not be able to get this and get that and do these other things. We were talking about that a little bit about the women, or, you know, that may be from, you know, a different bracket, and you know what happens, you know, when they have to go get something and to look this way for an interview or for on the job when you started, and you know how does that impact, and is it equitable? You know, then we get into even the fashion being equitable, right? Rochelle, I know you're dying to jump in. I can see it. I can see it like, oh, come on, co-host.
Okay, so ladies, I know you're not too familiar with me, but I started a business in Silicon Valley in a male-dominated industry, first African-American woman-owned business in the Western region of the United States in this particular industry. I'm a girly girl to all outdoors. Okay, I'm the only girl in my whole entire family, so I grew up with a lot of boy energy and a tomboy to heart. But I'm a girly girl. So when I started my business in Silicon Valley, think of 1989. Okay, it's whole different. You know, people like us didn't do that kind of stuff, but I knew from a young age I like to dress, and I like to dress nice, and I was always taught that people judge you and size you up within 10 seconds of seeing you. So no matter how you come presented, they're going to size you up, and it doesn't matter if you're the most phenomenal person in the world for the job. If they size you up to be something other than that in that first 10 seconds, you will not get the job. And that was the same business.
Was she a fly on the wall last time, guys? Do you think she was on a plane? She was on a plane. I'm just trying to figure out how she was on a plane and was on a fly on the wall from the last time.
My business being in a male-dominated industry, I initially thought, well, maybe I need to kind of dress like the guys because I was already not going to be accepted. There's a whole story behind that. But I'm like, you know what? To heck with this. I'm a girly girl. I'm going to be as feminine as possible. And if they don't like it, shame on them. So let me say, when I first started up, I was buying clothes at Contempo Casual, East Ridge Mall, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, 5, 7, and 9. You know,
that sort doesn't exist anymore.
I remember.
I don't fit in it anymore.
Okay, so I can dress it up to fit the part, still be feminine, but be confident and professional. As I made more money, of course, I got, I started dressing really nice, and then I just went to the hill. I would be in like my suits to the nines, but I would wear a camisole underneath that show, so it was classy, but it was still sexy, and I was all over in the media in San Jose, in Silicon Valley at that time for the positions I was holding. But I just kept it sexy and classy. Now, flip the script as a nurse, working in emergency room trauma, only female RN in emergency room trauma, working with a bunch of guys, and I still brought my femininity to my attire. I would, wear my makeup, and I worked the night shift. I would wear makeup. I would look cute, but my hair was cute in the process of being what I needed to wear for my job.
Sure.
So I say this because sometimes we get stuck on, with ladies having to present themselves a certain way, and you definitely have to present yourself in that certain way for that professional job you're seeking. If you're going to be working as a counselor with children in the hood and you come in a 3-piece suit to that job, guess what? You're not going to get that job.
Exactly.
If you want to apply for
not approachable
sales and marketing and Google, and you come in jeans, Nikes, and a hoodie, you ain't going to get that job. So I think with regards to fashion, it's okay to be feminine, and it's okay to have a little sex appeal, because every man and woman likes to see that. But you must definitely always stay professional and present yourself in the attire that is right for whatever it is you're seeking to do. And,
so again, I don't know what she's doing, but that's why we are co-hosts together, because we just see because literally my next question she had already stumbled on was, should your clothes impact your interviews? I mean, like she just went all over that. Okay, that's why I kept looking down. Like, can she see my notes?
Like, I love these questions. Was she looking at me? Was she spying on me through my computer?
I kept looking down like, I know she can't see my notes.
She didn't say she
And
works
she
in
just
Silicon
answered it,
Valley.
right?
She's like in there.
And she's in there, right?
Yeah.
But she just touched on what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, which is very important. And I love that she brought that in there, is interviews. When you talk about interviews, should they impact your interviews? It's like, well, yeah, because you got to be able to make some sort of, assessment, right? When a person comes in, because you don't know them. So, she just talked about how Rochelle just talked about how it does impact your interviews, because if they making their minds up within that first few seconds of when you're coming in. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on that question, because I had two other questions I'm really down to get to. So thank you, Rochelle, for getting that one answered. All right.
I want to say something really quick. I'm sorry.
See, I knew she did the same thing, Rochelle, last time. I want you to know this. Rochelle did the same thing to me.
I can't help it. There's so much stuff.
And we were out. Okay, go ahead.
The thing about dressing in Silicon Valley to be taken seriously, and the suit and all of that, versus the femininity. And I was just thinking that it probably works both ways, that for some men, if they saw you dressed a certain way, they would take you more seriously, depending on the man and how they view women to begin with.
Sure.
And on the other hand, if you were dressed a little bit more femininely, they may have, if they were intimidated, may have been more open to you, because now, you're a girl, you're cute, so now I'm going to listen to you. You would think you're a professional. So depending on their view of your capacity and your ability to meet them, one might look for the suit, like you're equal to me. The other
then we just can't win, Dr. Norma. Like, there's no winning there.
It's both ways. And you just said it, though. You just said it depends on who the male is that is interviewing you and is dealing with. Because intimidation is another thing too. You just brought up Dr. Norma.
Yeah.
Like if you come to dressed to the nines and got it together and look like you're going to take my job, then
Right. And I know, Dr. Kim,
then they think you're not smart. You can't win.
Yes.
But here's the thing. As an employer myself, in that 10 seconds when I'm sizing that person up, it's just that person will have another 40, maybe 50 minutes, or I don't know, whoever, to really, if they are like, exactly what I need, have the qualifications or whatever, that's going to weigh more on them. But definitely in that 10 seconds, I'm sizing them up. But if I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure, his pants are kind of high water and penny loafers like when I was in high school, I don't know, he gonna be in sales. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna say she. But if she comes and she's like, she's on it and she's got her, she's down and she like can articulate what I need to hear as that hiring professional.
Yeah. That's interesting coming from a female interviewing you.
Sure.
You know, but I wanted, as opposed to a male interviewing you. I wish that I had a male on here just to even ask that question too.
I know Dr. Kim wants to move on, but Rochelle said something earlier that I think is really important for us as kind of women who have been in our careers a lot longer than others, is that she kept her style. She decided as a young woman professional, this is my style, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
And I wish someone had told me that when I was younger, right? Like, how can we advocate for young women and say, here are the rules of being a young professional, but that doesn't mean you give up who you are.
Right. You still can have a style about you, because everybody has a style, right? So that makes sense. So now let's talk about, even in the style, how it builds confidence. How that builds confidence, because we talk about young women and being able to help them and guide them, and Dr. Kathy, you kind of even touched on it, like you wish somebody had told you that, right? So how does your style build confidence? We touched a little bit on this last time, but we weren't able to go through that. So Dr. Kathy, why don't you start us out on that one?
Well, Dr. Kim, I don't know how it does it, but I tell you what, when I think I look good, my confidence is just through the roof. It's just when things fit right, and I'm like, that's me. Then it's true. I don't know how it happens, but it definitely happens.
It does, right? It impacts the style. So what is that really saying about a lot of young women who don't feel that confidence because they're not comfortable in who they are, what their bodies are, because that even goes to how their bodies are,
sure.
and how
Or
things
they
fit
had to
on
get,
their bodies.
loaner
You know what I'm
clothes because they
saying?
didn't have the right, it was
Right. All of those pieces, the makeup, the hair, everything, the shoes. So Dr. Norma, come talk to us about that a little bit.
Well, the first thing I'm thinking of is just the fact that we're asking that question kind of sucks because it means that we are always trying to figure out who we are, how we look to ourselves, but also to other people. So much of the perception influences kind of our own perception. And that, that's, so I have a 31-year-old daughter, and we often will end up buying clothes from the same place. And I'm always like, do you dress old or do I dress young? Right. And Dr. Kim has seen me, and it's like, I like what I like. And
right.
This is too young. This is too, but it's like, I like what I like. And so I think for me, I just, I try to go with that. And I do get caught up often in, is this, am I too old for this, or I'm too, but, getting to what Dr. Kathy is saying, at the end of the day, it's like, I know what I gravitate towards. I know what makes me happy.
And that's it, right?
It is. And, trying to keep it professional and approachable.
Of course.
And all of that. But for young women to kind of figure out first, like outside of what you think the expectations are, what makes you happy. But I mean, even as grown women, I'm often asking myself, I don't know what makes me happy.
And you have to ask that question because a lot of times in this society and in life period, most people have not been asked, what makes you happy?
Right.
I remember the first time I was asked that, and I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Nobody's ever asked me what makes me happy before. And I had to stop and think. And I think it has a lot to do with it, and knowing ourselves a bit more, but also loving ourselves. I think, it goes into being able to have that self-confidence and loving yourself, right? And knowing that you love yourself where you are. Not I'm going to love myself when I finish this diet, or I'm going to love myself when I get my hair a certain way. Or I'm going to love myself when I get the certain type of makeup, or I'm going to love myself when I get the certain clothes, or, when I can get that, MK, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to get that, but when I can wear that bag, but loving ourselves where we are. So Rochelle, talk to us. We know we only have 3 minutes, right?
Okay. I'll be quick. So, with the confidence thing, I think, first of all, confidence doesn't come from your clothes. It comes from what's inside of you. If you don't have confidence inside of you, there's no clothes in the world that's going to make you feel confident. That's number one. Number two is, I see some girls. I was at the Lovers and Friends concert in Vegas 2 weeks ago with Usher and them. And I seen some girls that had confidence, but doggone shouldn't have had on what they had on. I know my body is okay for my age, but I wouldn't be caught dead in that stuff. Okay, so that's confidence number two. And then the other thing is, I think you should be able to wear whatever you feel that is respectful of you and how you want to present yourself. There's times I look at myself and I'll be like, well, maybe it's too young, but my body is rocking. I'm going to wear it. Now, I'm not going to wear the half tops like I used to back in, 20 plus years ago, but I will wear the form fit and stuff because I work hard on my body. And to me, it's a gift to show the grace of what God is doing in me with regards to me keeping myself fit, healthy, and well, that I have the confidence to wear this and I actually feel like I look good in it. So, I think the whole confidence thing doesn't come from your clothes. Your clothes don't make, they used to say clothes make a man, no matter how he is. If he ugly, he got on good looking clothes, he gonna look fine, right?
That's not accurate.
But I'm digressing. But confidence for us women is different because it has to come from within us. Otherwise, we start looking and dressing like hoochie mamas and thinking that we're confident, and that shows we're confident, but really it gives a wrong impression. Wrong impression.
Yeah, it like you said, it's a false confidence, right?
Yeah,
it's a false confidence where it's not really coming from the core of you, right? And you got to be able to portray it, because you can see it. Like I think Dr. Kathy was talking about, you can see it when somebody's confident. You can, when she put that clothes on, she said something about it. She just felt a certain way, right? You can tell it. Now, we got to get ready to go again, but I'm just throwing this out. We keep doing this. How has society impacted our dress? Now, I'm not going to even open that up, because I know we're going to be here for another minute, but just think on that as far as out there. I want everybody to get 30 seconds to say something quick, like maybe 3 or 4 words that how has society impacted our dress, because this is something that we may talk about in the future, but we want to be able to just kind of get 3 words out of it, so that it gives you some food for thought about how it really is impacting our dress. All right, Dr. Norma, 30 seconds.
60 is the new 40. So I'm 66. So
drop the mic, drop the mic, drop the mic, drop the mic. Yeah. We haven't dropped the mic. We just dropped the mic. Okay, we got to go to Dr. Kathy. 30 seconds.
I was going to say that I think we're just now starting to get away from conforming as far as we dress. I think people are now experiencing more individualism in how they're dressing. And I think that I'll just leave it there. I hope we're moving away from everybody just kind of doing the same thing.
All right. Excellent. And Rochelle, I need you to bring us on home and close us out at the same time.
Okay. So I think with society, fashion never goes out of style. You can buy something 40 years ago. If it's fashion, I could wear it today and it'll still fit. However, fads trend and they ebb and flow, right? So you think about the baggy pants that are now in the jeans. We were wearing those when I was in high school. It ebbs and flows. So fashion comes in and out. I think with regards to clothes and how it impacts us, it ebbs and flows depending on, if you think about it, the different music types that's coming in, the different music that's playing, whatever is flowing in that different time, that era, whatever is flowing is what dictates our fashion. And so I'm sorry, the clothes we wear, because fashion is always priceless. And so with regards to that, I can't really say what I think.
That's okay, because we're out of time.
I just think it's just, it is what it is, and it'll continue to evolve and ebb and flow as time progresses with what's going on in the world today. And with that, I would like to say, if you love this show, please subscribe to the show, share it with everyone you love and care about. We have 2 phenomenal panelists with us, and my co-host, Dr. Kim Brown Byron, and we are Real Talk, keeping it real for women with regards to issue in today's society. Dr. Kim, back to you, girl.
All right, that's it. We'll see you guys next time. Look for us, subscribe so you know when we're coming back out. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.